I think from our side, the first thing I think that is causing a lot of pain for our clients is that digital introduces a dialogue into the mix, and it means that brands that were traditionally geared for broadcasting or speaking at people are now challenged with speaking to people. So that's quite difficult from a resourcing and a scalability perspective. But the other one is ironically enough, in a channel that is so auditable and measurable, there's still a big question around return on investment in digital, which, I mean, ironically enough, I think came up in pretty much every channel discussion today. So it's not unique to digital. It's a branding, marketing, and communications conversation.
So I think the first thing is that businesses currently aren't organized for conversations. They're organized for campaigns. So, and I mean, you know, typically, I don't know how everyone in the audience feels, but I feel that we're constantly responding and trying to be responsive, and we're currently, you know, trying to be quick turn. And it almost seems like we're in crisis mode, when in fact, that's just because we're not organized appropriately. We're taking an old marketing model, which is very campaign-driven, and we're trying to have conversations.
One of our clients, Betterbond, had a negative experience on Facebook, and we turned it around to be very positive. And the brand build at the end was so big because Betterbond opened themselves up to be actually very transparent, and how they solved the problem was very good. So I think it differs, but I think brands are more and more open now to conversations.
I think there's a line that must be drawn in terms of how you control the conversation. So if you look at why you want to be involved in a conversation, there are two broad categories. You've got your service businesses, which I think are your financial and telecoms. They're taking conversations, they're getting issues and problems thrown at them. So they are traditionally very organized, well, they have to be. If they're not, they would outsource it to an agency to respond to those conversations. And then you've got, on the other side, you've got your brands. So your brands like X, and I think Vodacom to a certain extent, where very much an outsourced thing, because they're actually coming up, they have to create the content, start the conversation, and get people engaged as opposed to responding to issues.
And I think what we're starting to see, a lot of brands have been gradually sort of adopting Mxit as a social media platform, and some of them, the ones that have done really well, are turning it into a community. So it sort of starts with a campaign, then becomes a conversation, and then a community forms where the people start engaging with each other rather than between themselves and the brand. And I think that's where the sort of magic happens.